What's up, everybody? Snowman here. Got a question for you. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? How do I make money from a podcast? And believe me, I've asked that question a dozen times, maybe more. The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to podcast. How about that? Get paid to podcast. Something I've wanted to do for a long time, and now with Anchor I have a chance to do it. This process is very simple. So if you always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Promote this one while you're at it. And if someone asks, tell them Snowman sent you.
For our next attraction,
you're listening to the Snowman in the Morning podcast.
Can't wait.
Hour 2 is here, and we've had some good stuff to talk about so far, but I want to reintroduce a segment I haven't had a chance to do since before the Christmas holiday. This is called Transition Tuesday, and I know I'm a few Tuesdays late, like I said, because of the holiday, but transition coach Russ Williams now joins me via the hotline. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you, Snowman? Happy New Year to you, sir.
Happy New Year to you as well. And I love the subject that you brought to me about transitioning into 2020.
Great. Yeah, we made it, man. We're here in 2020, which is a great thing. And there's a transitional process that has to take place for everybody who has made it to 2020.
So how would you begin this process? How would you coach someone to begin this transition into 2020?
Well, first thing I would do, that there are 5 game plan steps, or I like to call them GPSs, that everyone should take when making the transition to 2020. The first one would be, the first GPS I have is develop a transition game plan, a point of attack. Snowman, I'm a huge fan of comedy. I love Chris Rock, and I remember hearing Chris Rock say a joke to, he's talking about the President Barack Obama, and he was talking about how he had a conversation with his wife, Michelle, and Michelle was saying, after their transition out of the White House, Michelle asked Barack Obama, what's your transition game plan, Barack? What is it? So you have to have that transition game plan to start off. So that's the first GPS.
Mm-hmm.
Second GPS is you have to embrace the new motto. Everybody should have the new motto: out with the old, in with the new. So I look at it like this, Snowman. Everything old is in your past, is in your rearview mirror. And I don't know anybody that can drive a car forward looking in their rearview mirror.
Yeah. So
you got to get past that. Everything with the old. Now, everything new is considered a gift in the present day. So, you have to consider everything new as a gift. New things like new relationships that's taking place in 2020, new job opportunities, new career opportunities. These are new things that's coming around everybody's horizon. You have to treat those new things like a gift. That's going to be so, so important. So that's the GPS number 2. Third GPS for transitioning to the 2020 is you have to think new year, new you. So important. New year, new you. Like the transition from 2020 gives us the best opportunity to be the best you can be. And, I'm a huge fan of Pastor Joel Osteen, and he had a great phrase talking about the person that, yourself is you. And he says, no one can beat you in being you. You have to be the best you can be, because everybody else is taken. You can't be anybody else. Everybody else is taken. So you have to be the best you can be. So think new year, new you. And then the fourth GPS when transition to 2020 is you have to develop 2020 vision. because how I look at it, Snowman, is 2020 vision is like perfect vision. And when you're developing this 2020 vision allows you to have laser focus to achieve your goals in 2020. When I played college basketball there, Snowman, the one regret I have is I never set goals when I played. I just was like, I guess I played with like the seat of my pants. If I accomplished something, that was great. But nowadays, I'm all into accomplishing the goals, putting your goals out there, writing down small term, long-term goals, short-term goals. And, when you write those down, attach a timetable to them as well. And like, I like to look at it like this, Snowman. Hey, look, if I'm looking to lose 5 pounds, at this date, I want to lose 5 pounds. Or at this date, I want to be this portion of my career. I want to be better in my career. So when you set dates, when you set goals, that's how you develop that 2020 vision for 2020. That makes sense?
Yes, it does.
And then the last one I have, the last GPS when transitioning to 2020 is you have to execute the transition game plan. It goes, like in terms of the narrative of sports, coaches coach and players play. The coaches put out the game plan for you, but it's always the players that execute the game plan. And so like now we have the game plan steps, the GPSs. Now it's up to us to carry out the transition game plan and take it to the finish line. We got to run through the tape we got to run through that winner's tape to be successful. And I think when you use all of these GPSs, you'll be successful in that transition to 2020 because, again, we all want a smooth transition. That's the goal.
That's Mr. TGP, Russ Williams, joining me here on this Tuesday talking about transitioning into 2020. And I want to hit a couple of these points. The one that I want to really want to look at, and I'm making this personal because I've had problems in the past executing the transition game plan into a new year. A lot of people want to say, I have this resolution, I have that resolution. I don't have resolutions anymore. I have game plans, especially since listening to you and especially since I've gotten married. Right. How can people keep their focus into executing their particular transition game plan?
Well, I think a couple of things. You have to, number one, let's take that word focus. You got to be focused. You have to be motivated. You have to be disciplined. When you play it, like I always equate stuff to sports for myself. College basketball, when I played college basketball, a lot of it is ability, but more importantly, a lot of it is discipline. So you have to be disciplined. You have to pay attention to the details. You got to be disciplined. And when you're disciplined, that leads to laser-like focus as well. So I would say the main mantra that you have to have when you're executing your transition game plan, you have to be disciplined in your process. You have to do it step by step, but be disciplined. Daily routines, get in the daily habits, get in the daily routines when you're executing any transitional game plan. I also like to say too, Snowman, is surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with people who are like you. If you're a like-minded person, you want to surround yourself with that like-mindedness of those people to help you through it. But to really answer your question, though, Snowman, the main focus is you have to be disciplined involving you to execute for your transition game plan. Discipline is of the essence.
Man, I really feel like you're speaking to me with that word discipline, and it's really come into play the last couple of years of my life, and I'm so happy to have you on with me. How did you change your point of attack? I'm going to the top of the list here. How did you change your point of attack coming into 2020?
Again, I just stated the plan again with the discipline portion of it. I remain disciplined. Like, sometimes, going into the new year, people join gyms and stuff like that, like that New Year resolution, I'm going to start the process, I'm going to join the gym. I've been working out well before, 2020 hit. So with me being disciplined and steadfast just like that, that helped me with the easy transition to do that. So again, staying disciplined, that helps you in that development. That's so important. I can't really stress the importance of staying disciplined. And again, that's just like continuing with the process. It's like that old saying that they say, Snowman, you have to stay ready. When you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
This is true.
So that's how I approach it. Yep, that's how I approach it. You always stay ready, because when you always stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
That is so true, and this is coming from a former student athlete, former Manhattan Jasper, and I've been around so many student athletes, and I want to stay with that point. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. That is an excellent point, and I've heard a lot of student athletes say it, but I want to bring it back to, for lack of a better term, the regular person. How can they stay ready, especially going through this year?
Again, like I always mention, get involved with positive people. If you're not a positive person, you need to surround yourself with positive people. You want to surround yourself. You're going to give yourself the best chance for success when you surround yourself with people who are looking to do things in a positive manner, looking to take that trajectory up to a positive means and doing positive things. I think, we're all about the company that you keep. If you're in a group and if you're the smartest one in that group, you need to get another group. You got to surround yourself with those positive people, positive environments, positive reinforcement. That is so, so important. Another thing, just quoting Joel Osteen, he talked about the I am. Like, whatever you say after the word I am is going to chase you down. So if you're saying to yourself with the positive reinforcement, I am a creative person, I am energetic, I am somebody who I would like to hang out with, those things, those words will follow you. I'm big in the words department there, Snowman.
Yes, sir.
What you say, what you put out there in that universe will come right back to you. So if you're putting out that positive reinforcement in the universe, those things will come back to you twofold as well. And those will help you in any transition that you have. You have to have that positive mindset, have to have that positive reinforcement. And if you got to do it on your end, you start off by doing it. And you'll see, once you're doing that and you're putting that positivity out, other people, you will have that, it's like that gravitational pull in terms of energy. What you put out, being positive, will come back to you. You put out negative energy, that will come back to you as well.
Man.
But, I always say, surround yourself with the good people, have, be in a positive environment. That's so important, and sometimes other people who are in your camp, it could be family members.
Mm-hmm.
They might not be the most positive people. You might have to shed them. Maybe that, their journey is not your journey. So sometimes you have to do away with those people, to get to what would you like, a positive outcome. So positivity, that's what it's all about. And that'll get you through any transition that you might be going through, especially in this year, 2020.
That is our transitional game plan coach himself. That's Russ Williams joining me as Transition Tuesdays return to Snowman in the Morning. Man, I cannot thank you enough for coming on board. I truly appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate it, Snowman. Hey, Snowman, do you mind if I give out my contact information?
Go
Is that
ahead.
okay?
Yes, go for it.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so guys, you can follow me on Twitter at rwilltransition. Also on Instagram, I'm at rwilltransitions with an S, plural. And Facebook. Hey, do me a favor, guys. Friend me on Facebook at Russ Williams. You can see my popular show, Transition Tuesday, seen every Tuesday on Facebook Live. Love to hear from you guys. And if you guys have any questions, concerns about transition, or, if I'm able to assist anybody, I would love for you guys to give me an email. Send me an email at russwilliamsrwt@gmail.com. I can help you with any transition that you're going through because I'm here to assist.
That's the transition coach himself. Thanks for coming aboard, my friend.
Thank you, Snowman. Appreciate you, my man.
Executing the game plan, executing the transition game plan, the point of attack. And I love the 5 steps that he has here. The point of attack, embrace the new model, a new year, new you, 2020 vision and executing the transition game plan. And I can tell you from personal experience, I've struggled with all of these. But since I've met him, since I've met my wife, I have done a lot better, but there's still a lot more work to do. Pause for a break, and when I come back, I still have some more stuff to do. And at the bottom of the hour, you'll hear from Greg Peterson, good friend of mine, and we'll talk some college hoops as we continue to roll on. Snowman in the morning, back in a flash.